I got an alert today that said somebody wanted to sponsor us. We have our first sponsor for you
Hey,
guys.
a new milestone, guys. We have only been doing this a month.
Well, honestly, no cap, this podcast is really good. I listen to it when the episodes come out. I listen to them like multiple times.
Oh, me too.
I love them. They're fun to edit.
Yeah, because we're not trying to keep up a persona. This is just us, so I like it.
It takes a village to raise
it takes that damn group chat that we're in.
Oh my gosh. Let's leave the group chat out of this.
It's different.
It's different. Yeah, let's pray for him.
I drank my drink right when you said that.
Y'all know Eddie Mae's brother down in there.
Stop that.
I'm like, please. I can't take it.
I actually unmuted that group chat, and then the other day I was like,
no,
y'all going back on mute.
No,
I don't even know why you would do that to yourself. I go in and I check it. I check it when I have the bandwidth to check it.
Right. Yeah, because it's a lot at one time, right? It's just a lot going on.
Yeah, and they're
at
all
times.
They're all
at all times.
Yeah. I'm like, there's no way. There's always something happening. Don't you guys just have any quiet days?
It's like where they live is like country gossip girl.
Oh my god. Sally Mae here. It seems like Barbara Jean went down to the
grocery store.
Not Sally Mae here.
But Freddie Mac wasn't having any of that.
But wait, who set the corner store on fire?
You use a real event?
No, actually though. Because that was scandal. What? Anyway. So today, you guys, hello, welcome to It's an Okay podcast. Today we're talking about
evolution of friendships.
Woo.
This could come at a really good time because I really last week I just experienced some stuff in terms of friends that I was like, oh, interesting. Like, a new development. Quite interesting.
You guys want to know what's so funny? I literally was looking back at my notes and it was like, it all started in kindergarten.
I was born a baby, a blank slate.
You want to get into it now or you want to?
Well, I was just going to get into it after one of you guys did.
Okay. Beth, why don't you go first?
So on previous episodes, I did talk about how, as a kid, I was somewhat of an evil tyrant. And it's true. And I kind of grew out of it. It's less stress on me to be rude.
Yeah.
Unless you bring it to my doorstep and then all bets are off.
Yeah. But you didn't start out that way. I don't think you started out.
No, I didn't start out that way. I just had a lot of people try to do things like try to fuck me over and get away with it. And it was just like, okay. And like me being me, I'm like, I will forgive eventually, but I will never forget. It'll always be there. And so every time I see you, that will come up in my mind. It is like a trigger. So it's like, for me, yes, I may have forgiven you and I may not speak on it, but every time I look at you, that is something that looms over your body.
It's like, I can forget what you said, but I'm not going to forget how you made me feel.
Exactly. And it's like, so I keep that in my forefront. So like, if I'm dealing with somebody, I'm like, all right, well, we could be cool. And but I already know that you have had this many tallies in my mind of things that you have said, things that you have done, way you've made me feel. And it's like, I don't hold it against you to your face.
Right.
However, if something were to happen again, it factors into the final decision of whether or not I'm going to continue our friendship or not. So it's like, I try to give people as much grace as I can. Because I was like, you don't give people grace. No, I actually do. Because there's a lot of people, and y'all know who they are, who have done a lot of shady stuff to me. And it's like, people are like, why are you, like, I don't know. I know when I go and call Taylor, I call her, like, we talk to each other every day. She'll be sitting there like, I done told you stop being friends with these people. And I'm like, Taylor, I'm just venting right now. She said, girl, I don't get it, girl. And I'm like, I know, Taylor. Like, and I see that, but it's like, for me, I'm not forgiving, and y'all know that. So for me, y'all know that. Y'all know if I got a grudge, it's what did Cardi B say? Ran down on the beach twice. If you beef with me, we gonna be forever. And it's like that. So I tried to like give chances in a way. For me, that's how I show grace, because if I don't, it's really gonna be on sight.
Yeah.
I try to let people be themselves when they show me who they are. If it's not something that's like, if they don't, sleep with a significant other, if it's just something like petty, I'll be mad about it. I'll remove myself. I'll calm down, and then I'll reconvene. But I
Right.
have that tally in my head
Yeah.
about them, so that way if they do it again, it's like, oh no, that's good. It's a wrap.
Right. It's kind of like how I am with people that like with difficult people, where I'm like, I don't want to be mad at you, because if I'm going to do whatever I can to not be mad at you. But if you continue to do this at a certain point,
I'm a
like,
snap.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how you are with friendships. You're like, I will forgive you, but for the little things that you do, but eventually
I'm not gonna
I'm
forgive
not going
you.
to forgive you. Yeah.
Nope. And our friendship will just be over. And you'll literally be looking cockeyed like crazy.
Because you've given them so many chances in
Yeah.
other ways. So they're like, wait, I'm not going to get
Right.
another chance.
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you're not getting another chance. And I'm non-vocal with it.
Yeah.
My
Well,
cutoffs are
because
non-vocal.
it's very interesting you say that, because you're not a non-vocal person, but I think you're like, when it comes to like disrespect, you're very quick to call it out. So I think it's not about necessarily not being non-vocal for you. It's just like, look, I've already told you. And if you keep doing this, eventually I'm just going to silently walk away.
Yeah. I'm not going to keep repeating myself.
Right.
I saw a tweet the other day that was like, people know your triggers and still use them to trigger you. Those are enemies. Your friends are not supposed to try to make you like angry and get under your skin. If I really love you in an authentic, genuine way, like I want to lift you up and I want to see you do great. So what does friendship mean to you guys?
Should I go first?
Yeah.
Sure.
So my zodiac sign, this is just gonna go back to the zodiac sign real quick. Libras pride themselves on friendship. And so friends for Libras are like family. So if you make it as an actual friend, like I have many quote unquote friends, those are acquaintances, but my actual like solid friends are like family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's how it is for me. And that's why when the disrespect is potent.
The disrespect
was potent. Yeah. Whenever that happens. Whenever that happens, I have to be like I'm like, because I have some friends that like disrespect me, and then they're confused as to why someone else can disrespect me, and like I'm still able to be friends with them, but they get cut off. And it's like, because you have not made it to the level of family.
Right.
You are still an acquaintance, babe. So this person disrespecting me is like a sibling disrespecting me. So we eventually they know they're gonna get my tongue lashing.
Yeah.
But I gotta remove myself so that I don't cuss them out in this moment and end our friendship.
Right.
For me, I define friends like as, okay, the quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others.
Mm-hmm.
I think friendships are about, or should be about, making a journey together, going far together, and making that journey enjoyable. And so for me, I like to have friends who kind of make my life more peaceful and more fun. So I don't like a lot of conflict. I understand that sometimes, conflict is necessary, and sometimes it's a good thing. But for me, I want my friends to be people who, if there's a problem, the problem is external. We're trying to solve an external problem,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe we have conflict there, not conflict in the way that we talk to each other, or conflict in the way that we relate to each other.
Right.
So I've realized for myself that when it comes to friends, it takes me a long time to develop like solid friendships. So I can be friendly with people,
Mm-hmm.
but I really need like a solid 3 years of knowing someone.
Yeah.
Before I'm genuinely like, okay, yeah, this is someone who is truly, truly my friend. Mm-hmm. And then honestly, it takes, after that 3 years, I've had friends where I'm like, after, maybe 7 or 8 years of them being in my life, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is my family. Now they're a part of my life. You know what I mean? Which, is not necessarily the case. Some people are very quick to call people friends, and that's something that I had to grow out of. Because I used to be there as well, where I'd be like, yeah, she's my friend. And like, Nana would be like, that girl is not your friend. And I'm like,
Nana, leave it to Nana. Leave it to Nana. I leave it to Nana. Nana just be giving it too real sometimes. I'm like, Nana, I don't need it here. I don't need this.
She is the truth. She was like, you don't want to do that. And I'm like, maybe
you
I do.
Don't want to do that. That's a funny way of getting I don't think you want to do that.
She's like, yeah, she will tell me straight like that with anything, not just in friendships. She'll just be like, no, that's not what you want. I can tell. I'm looking at you. I can tell. I'm like, but maybe. She's like, no, maybe, but go ahead, do it. And then do what you want. That's what she likes to say.
She's funny.
And then I'll do it. And then, over time I'll be like, yeah, no, I didn't like it. She's like, I told you this already. I don't know why. I already told you that you didn't want to do that. Nana is a savage.
She's not playing.
She's not.
She's not playing.
She's very little tolerance for
BS.
Like, BS. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
I come to the group chat. She says, ma'am. I'm like, it's time to go. Nana's about to tell me not to do it.
So my Nana and Taylor is my therapist because for me, like I was saying before, I just have a really hard time making friends. And I agree with Samilia. Like it takes me a couple of years to actually call someone my friend, and in therapy, my therapist gave me tools to like work through that. I'm not going to tell people what they are so that people can't get past the tools, but
she said, what's the passcode?
You know that I just pictured in my head with that video of the girl who's like dressed like a medieval and she's like like trying to get through Corey.
The Nicki Minaj. I'm gonna put him in the dungeon under. None of what you're saying.
Yeah, and they're like running. Yeah. It's like above their head, it's like trying to get through Corey's tool.
Well, before I was telling people the tools, and my therapist was like, "Stop doing that."
No, that's very similar to relationships, though. It's like you're not supposed to tell someone exactly what you want in a relationship.
Yeah, because they can manipulate you.
Correct.
Yeah, it's not very smart. So, like I said in previous episodes, I'm very much so of a homebody. Like all throughout high school, my freshman year to my junior year, I did not go out. I didn't start going out to my senior year of high school. So
our mom.
Yeah, I did. I either was like in my room playing the piano, making YouTube videos, or I was hanging out with my mom. And my one of the questions I was going to ask later is who's your longest friend, and my answer is definitely going to be mom. What? Mom was around when you wasn't. Leave me alone.
Who taught you how to ride your bike?
Not you, babe. As soon as them wheels came off, you let go of the bike and I fell and I skinned my shit up. So don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to me. So for me, like friendship, I feel like I'm still trying to define what friendship means to me. Like, I think it's somebody that I can communicate with, somebody who is like patient with me and gentle with me and sees me the way I see myself.
Yeah.
That's really important to me. I'm still kind of developing what it is that I don't want so I can develop what it is that I do want. Mm-hmm. But I agree.
Until then, I'll make the decision for you. I'm like, you don't want that.
Thank you, but no thank you. We don't want the same things.
We don't, but I've been around you to be like, I'm your Nana.
I'm fucking weak.
I be feeling it for you though, Corey, because I'd be like, you better go back, tell her you want your money back. Because Corey be like, I don't like
oh my
this.
gosh. That was literally 2 or 3 days ago. Something happened and Beth was like, what happened? And Corey's like, if I tell you this, you have to promise not to try to fix it for me. And Beth was like, I'm not going to promise that.
And I wasn't. Not about to promise it. And what did I do?
You didn't do anything. Oh, well, you did do stuff, but what I didn't want you to do, you didn't do. And I appreciate that. But you are doing other things. And those things are fine. I'm okay with those things. But yeah, just for me, I used to make friends so easily because but the thing about it, but the drawback would be is that they were my friend, but I wasn't theirs.
Yeah.
And so I had to stop doing that, where I was like kind of pushing myself on to be like friends with someone. And like, yes, they would be there for me, and yes, they like care for me. But I think if it came down to it, where like they needed to like call all their friends, I would not get a call.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's not a good feeling.
it's not. You know, it's really funny. When I was saying, I was looking at my notes and I was like, it all started in kindergarten. It literally started in kindergarten. And there was there are these two girls that I hung out with. And I thought they were my friends. And there's this boy that I had a crush on. I thought he was my friend. So in the yearbook, they gave us this digital yearbook. They were like very ahead of their time.
They were.
For that.
They gave us this digital yearbook. And on your yearbook page, you named all of these things, like your favorite class, your least favorite class, your favorite subject, your favorite color, your friends, right? And at the friends tab, when you named people in your class, they made it a clickable link so you can click to go to those people's yearbook page. Very ahead of its time. It was like literally 1999, very ahead of its time. And I think I was maybe in like the 6th grade, and I found the digital yearbook and I put it in the computer and I was looking through it. I love looking back on yearbooks. And I went to my class. Nobody named me. None of the people that I named me. Nobody else named me. And I looked, because it's the kind of person I am, to see if everyone got their name mentioned at least once.
Yeah.
Everyone got their name mentioned at least once, except for me.
Right.
And I was like,
me, myself, and I, that's all I got in the end.
I should have named my mom, because that's really that's only the down ass bitch I know. But it was kind of devastating for me. I was like, oh my gosh.
I mean, no, that's devastating. It is devastating.
It's like, this is such an issue. I was in 1A. I went to 1B, and I was like, let's see if the afternoon class named me. Nobody named me, girl. And nobody named me. And I was just like, okay. So yeah, I'm not going to therapy. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, it was like that for me was kind of a beginning wake up call.
Yeah.
Of noticing how much like I'm sprinting towards like trying to make these relationships last, and like these people are literally just standing in one place watching me with their other groups of friends.
Right.
I want to talk about our longest friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we doing to make our longest friendships last?
I'll start with like my longest friend. So my longest friendship is Nikki, and my longest friend and my bestest friend. And we met when we were 14.
So cute.
Yeah, I know.
They were in a girl gang.
We weren't.
Yeah, they were. And you can't tell me otherwise. That was a gang. That was a freaking gang.
Girl, it was a squad.
Yeah, we were on a cheerleading squad together.
They were on a squad, but they ran stuff. Like, they were in a gang.
Y'all were not in a gang. Continue.
No, I know we weren't.
It just makes me laugh because, like, yeah, you were, but it's okay. They ran deep. They had a pack. There was like, just picture if North Shore had Us Weekly.
Wow.
On the cover.
Wow.
Oh man, if I could find our old cheerleading picture, I would put that up. But yeah, we met my freshman year, her sophomore year, and we went to this school that was a little rough, and we both came from, not so rough environments. And so she had just moved down from Pennsylvania, and I just kind of grew up sheltered. And so we went to the school, and we just like recognized that we had very similar energies and just saw things similarly, had like a similar sense of humor. And I don't even remember like the day we met or anything like that. I feel like once I knew her, we were best friends. Once I met her, we were best friends. So yeah, that friendship has been through many different seasons. When we moved from Virginia back down to North Carolina, and she was still in Virginia. That was kind of like a difficult time because I was 16, I think. So we moved in my junior year of high school. Mm-hmm. And so, we went from she and I like always being together, being inseparable, doing everything together to like, you know, having to find people in my new environment that I could be friends with because I couldn't drive from North Carolina to Virginia to see her at the time. And like, I remember there was a time where like she had another friend that she had gotten close to, and she's like, I feel like you've forgotten about me. And she's just like, girl, okay, child. Anyways, like she's very securely attached. And I think that is very helpful for me because at the time, I felt like I had like some anxious attachment in some of my friendships. Well, at least when I moved away, I felt anxious about like, is this person going to forget about me? And she was like, girl,
yeah,
it's probably not even anything to do with attachment. I think it's just the anxiety of like you moving away and feeling like, okay, is my best friend still going to be my best friend?
Yeah.
And the thing I realized with that is that it just takes time. Honestly, time tells a lot of things. It tells all, right? So when we went to college, we ended up being like, I would call her before every class and we would just talk on the way to class. I'd like wake her up in the morning and we just would always be on the
What
phone.
you talking about then? You still do this. She'll be like, oh, gotta go. Nikki's calling for a prayer call. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Cherie and I do prayer calls. That's
Oh, I thought it was Nikki. I thought
she said you got it wrong.
You got it wrong, baby girl.
Wrong bitch.
Wow. No, but we go through seasons, right? So like when she got married before I did, and when she got married, before that we would talk for like, you know, 2 hours a day, and then she got married and it's like, all right, she's got to figure out what her rhythm is with her husband, and so like giving her space. And then when, you know, she kind of figured out that rhythm, this was nothing that we spoke about, it's just kind of how things happen. When she figured out what that rhythm was, then we would re-engage and talk regularly. When she had her first child, like it was the same thing. Okay, well, what's the new schedule? What's the new normal? And it wasn't like we were on the phone like, okay, well, I got Wednesday at 8. I got, you know, it was just
yeah.
we just kind of gave each other space. And so I think what's worked very well for us is, I think once you get to a place where you're like, this person you are going to be in my life. I love you. And if there's things that are changing in my life, our friendship is not what's changing. It's the things in my life. So I just need you to give me some space so I can figure that out. And it was the same thing when I had my son. And that's just how we've understood each other. It's very much like a tide. Like there are times where the tide is high and there are times where it has receded a little bit, but they're connected. So they're not going anywhere. They're interdependent. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how our friendship has been. And over time, that is really what solidifies things for me, where I'm just like, okay, this person, when I get to that place where I'm like, yeah, this person's in my life. So I don't have to worry about like, you know, if they actually care about me or like talking about me behind my back. Like it's not those things. It's just, okay, if she needs space right now, it's because she's going through something. If I do something to upset her, she does something to upset me, which is pretty rare because we know each other pretty well, or very well. So we know like, okay, this is what's going to bother her. And so, we just don't do those things to each other.
Right.
And then just keeping open communications. The one time I can think of where I didn't have open communications with her, I think that was very upsetting because I was going through something very, very difficult. But I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You weren't open with anyone. Yeah. You weren't open
I was kind of suffering in silence. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first thing she said when she found out was like, I cannot believe you were struggling with this by yourself and you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and so I think when you're able to kind of hold that space for someone, that always is supportive of a long-term connection. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, even though you were going through something and you didn't tell me, but I know that the reason why you didn't tell me has nothing to do with the quality of our friendship.
I'm hurt because I know you're hurting and I wish I could have been there for you. I'm not hurt because you didn't tell me this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay. My longest friend would be Taylor and Lexi. Lexi was actually the friend I made first. I think I don't see her as often as Taylor, or I don't even see Taylor at all. But because Taylor's in med school, Lexi's um a therapist. So, but I would say that I'm close with both of them in different ways.
Mhm.
Because I don't speak to them. I don't speak to them as often as I would like.
Yeah, but you don't have to speak to your friends every single day for them to be your friends. We don't see each other for weeks.
I know, but Taylor and I talk every day though. Taylor, like if I'm not waking her up, she's waking me up, and I'm giving her the tea on my life. And then she's always like, "Girl," and I'm like, "Taylor." She's like, "When they go low, we go high." Like,
Yes,
Taylor.
Michelle Obama.
Yeah, but I'm like, Taylor, I don't need that right now. I'm trying to bust their tires out.
When they go low, I go even lower.
So like, it's always funny. Like sometimes when she'll call me, if somebody has like one time Taylor rarely ever trips. Taylor is always in a positive mood. It's
Which is rare for a Scorpio.
It is so rare. It is so rare, and it's not fake. It's not fake at all. It's actually genuine. And because like it's not for me, it's night and day to who we were as kids. Because Taylor was the Spitfire when we were in high school, and I was more of the like quiet, reserved, even though I had a lot to say in my mind. So like, but as we've gotten older, I've become more of the like Spitfire, and Taylor's been more of the reserved, quiet. She probably has a lot to say in her mind, but she's just very like positive. So it's just funny because the one time she called me and somebody had did something to her, and I was sitting there like, you know, when you're that shocked but smiling, like, I am proud. It's like she has absorbed some of my teachings.
Yeah.
You know, because normally she's just like, we're gonna be the bigger person and we just gonna move on. She was like, yeah, she was going off, and I was just sitting there like, tell me more. I was hyped because I was like, yes, who is this girl we're gonna have to fight? Because like, I will do it. She was like, yeah, girl. She was like, I'm normally not the mean one, but I walked up to her and I said, let me tell you something, sis. He never liked you.
Oh, wow.
And I said,
we love to see it.
We love to see it. We love to see it.
Not let me tell you something, sis. I don't care about you.
She goes,
or Antoine.
She was like, exactly. It was giving that. She was like, I am not your friend, and walked away. And I was like, Taylor, I'm proud of you.
That's funny.
So she's my longest friend. It's funny because we didn't start off as friends. So I think that's why I think is really, really special about our friendship is that we actually did not like each other when we first met. A lot that attributes to us not being friends is because there was a third party that was a meddler, and they just caused a lot of problems to this day.
Also, at our school, it was like very survival of the like they would like it was 3 Black girls in like each grade, you know, and like they were gonna make it some sort of like game, and like you had to be smart enough to be like, no.
Like I said, that person that was a meddler, they caused issues with 2 of the girls. And then those girls, you know, had a falling out. And then they tried to cause issues with me.
And that same, Taylor. One of the same girls, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And me and Taylor were smart enough. Like her mom, I think it's just funny because her mom was like, you're not about to be mean to the only other Black girl at that school, Taylor. You're going to invite her over and we're going to take her to see Harry Potter. I'm so serious. You're laughing. And it happened. Like Taylor was like, my mom wants to know if you want to come over.
I love it. No, I love it.
I love it too.
I do too. Because her mom invites me. I love their family.
That's cute.
But she's definitely like, you is not gonna be mean to the only other Black girl.
So what do you think is the reason for like long lasting relationships?
I think the reason that her and I have worked is just because there's an understanding of like we grew after that whole situation, because there was a point where we just did not like each other. Mm-hmm. And then when we were able to be like, you know what, like let's actually get to know each other, it was like, oh, this girl is very nice, this girl has my back, she doesn't do like, she's loyal, that's a loyal friend.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to worry I really don't have to worry if somebody said something about me. Taylor would be like, that's what we're not gonna do, and I already know she's gonna call them out.
Right.
Whereas me, it's like, no, we're not doing this. Or I'll try to mend it, but it's like, I'm not going to let the other person talk bad about, like, I was friends with somebody who didn't necessarily care for her, and they tried it with me, and I was like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. Because at the end of the day, like, if you're not even willing to be around this person as they are, you don't have room to speak on them.
Yeah.
Right.
And at least not to me, because I'm not like other people who would join in and kiki with you. I'm not gonna do that, because it's like you're not about to run that back and say that I was kikiing with you when I wasn't.
Right.
Correct. For me, it's about mutual respect and like admiration. So like with my friends, I'm not someone who is able to like fake feelings. So like if my feelings are genuine, they're genuine, true blue feelings.
Mhm.
If we're best friends, you are my true blue best friend. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't go around calling everyone bestie, because it's not how I feel.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't have a bestie of the week. That's not how I
Not the
operate.
bestie of the week. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, wait.
That was funny.
Actually, I lied too. Sorry. I think my longest friends were you guys, because for the longest time I used to be like, I don't need y'all. I used to be really mean to people, and I'd be like, I don't need you. I have sisters.
That's true.
And I would really cut people off and be like, I'm gonna go home and talk crap about you to my sisters.
Right. But there's that respect of like, you love us, there are things about us that you genuinely like and admire. And like for me, that's how it is with my best friends, with my close friends. That feeling of, I genuinely respect you, and when I look at you, there are things that I'm like, man, like that's a quality that like I don't have. And it's not that I wish that I had it. I love that you have it, and I can learn from you. So learn from this.
Wow, Jinx. Jinx.
So, and I think with you guys, my friendship with you guys has definitely evolved, because I started out as a parent, and I was not given the choice to be a parent.
Oh no.
A 14-year-old raising kids.
And so
but you did a good job. You did a good job.
You.
You only
Thank
killed us
you.
on. You only
We're definitely gonna do an episode on sibling evolution, because that needs its own episode.
Yeah,
like 1000%.
You guys,
it's gonna be so good.
Yes, it really is. You guys exist in a completely different space for me. We have a friendship, right? We have a sistership, but there's also it's just different. For me, but I mean, I definitely be calling y'all every day.
Yeah, but that's cool to us, because it's like it's fun. For me, I just think it's really funny, because it really was on some parent type like
no, 100%.
Yeah,
the foreign oldest child, like the oldest child in a foreign family, is not a mother. We're just gonna put that out there to everyone listening.
Yeah,
your oldest child is not a parent. Get a babysitter.
Oldest daughter, right? Because they don't. If I was a boy, I don't think I would have had. Especially in in immigrant families, first gen families, that tends to be the role that you're given. You're like the little mom, and
you got to cook for us, clean for us, make sure we do our homework, pick us up from school,
braid our hair. Braid your hair.
Make sure we're not jumping off tables.
I discipline you guys. Like, I'm like, what, girl? What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, ma'am, madam. Anyways, yeah, different episode. But I think part of what makes a good friendship and what gives that longevity for me is like having that sense of like, man, this person does this really good. Like Nikki as a mom and just like problem solver. Like I like to solve problems. And typically when I'm like riled up, which is not very often, she's very good at like keeping a level head, and she's a therapist. And so she's like, and so why do you think you feel that way? And I'm like, just tell me what to do. Well, what do you think you should do? I'm like, what do you think I should do? I can think of like, just with all my close friends, I can think of, at least at minimum one thing, but I'm sure with all of them, it's more than one, just the qualities that they have where I'm just like, wow, I really like that about you. And I respect you, and you make my life better. You bring happiness and joy and just peacefulness, and I like that. And so for me, that's what makes friendships last long, is that general mutual respect, genuinely enjoying each other, and genuinely liking each other. Because I've observed people, and you watch it on reality TV where they'll call someone their friend, and you'll be like, but you don't even like that person. Like,
right.
So I don't understand why you're calling them a friend. Like, if you remove that person from your life, you would create space for someone who you genuinely like to come in.
The way my mind is set up, I'm like, do I have a longest friend? I know that my obvious answer would be Laura, because we've been friends since we were 10 years old, and
I love her.
I call her my soulmate because honestly, when I was young, like we had a lot of similar interests. As like a young girl, I was not expected to like the kind of music that I liked, and like for her dad was like into that music, so passed it down to her. And so we just bonded over music and movies, and we would go to concerts together. And I was handicapped. I mean, I still am handicapped, but like I had like walking aids, and she would take me to like concerts with my crutches, and like we would meet because she knew all the boys in the bands, and we would meet all the boys in the bands and like take pictures and do fun stuff. And she's just always kind of been there for me. And I think that like we just have this respect for each other that is acknowledging what the other person needs, and we're actually still building that. Like we've known each other for 17 years, and there are still things about Laura that I'm learning, and vice versa. And I think that's a lot of why our relationship is still going strong, is because we've taken the time. Like we just take things really, really slow. And I think a lot of my best relationships are like really just slow.
Yeah.
Because we are it's like exciting when you're still learning something about someone that you would assume you know so much about already in the like last, like 17 years of your life. But I was gonna say I didn't want to hurt any feelings, because I was gonna say I don't know if I have like a longest friendship. And like I said before, I'm in therapy. I'm like trying to figure it out. My therapist always tells me like, this person's not your friend. Like that's one thing my therapist always tells me, because she's just like, you are ready to give yourself to people really quickly. And I think that's so true. I meet people and I'm like, I don't believe in withholding love. I'm a Cancer sign. So I'm like, here it is. Like, here are all my cards. I don't really care to play a game. I don't really care to like run off on the plug. Like here are the cards. Like, I'm not playing with you. But I feel like that is almost like opposite of what my good relationships do, right? Like if I just hand them one card, I think it'll be the same effect instead of handing them every single card I have. Because
I think part of that, just to interject, I think part of that is also realizing that not everybody was raised on love. And so
some people will take your cards and really run off on the plug.
They're like, oh, you're going to give me your cards, versus like if you are interacting with people who were like raised on love, they're like, oh, cool, you're showing me your cards. Let me show you my cards.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that's cool. That one looks really neat. I would like to have that. Do you mind if I have that? And you're like, oh, no, I don't mind. I like that one of yours. Let's switch. Let's trade, right? And if you're dealing with people who weren't not necessarily raised in that,
they're just going to take it.
They're like, you're showing me your cards, and then you turn your back and they're like, swipe.
Right.
Like,
swipe or no swiping. No, it's so true. It's so true. And I feel like that's like, because like me and Laura have been able to like have a longer lasting relationship, because I feel like I didn't maybe put every single last one of my cards down, but I put like 50 out of the 52 down. And she was like, cool. And like left them there. And I think like that's so important to me, to know like someone sees like everything that you can give and is like, all right, if I need it, like thank you for letting me know that it's there, and like vice versa. Whereas like, and like, because she's not necessarily even trying to take any of my cards. Like she doesn't really like, in fact, she like is constantly giving me stuff. Constantly giving me her cards. But I'm like, Laura, wait. So it's like, I feel like that is a thing of like, yeah, being able to like be with someone that you can trust to like put all your cards down and know like they acknowledge that they're there, but they're not going to take them.
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is what you were saying, just to reiterate it, Corinne, the importance of giving things space and time, like people space and time. So like the friendships that I had, like, okay, Daniel's godmom, Sheree, we met in college. We were the only two female engineering students in our scholarship class. And so we had the exact same schedule, and we just happened to get along very well. So we ended up living next door to each other. We ended up getting the same part-time job, working the same exact schedule. And we started a business together now. And we just, our friendship has evolved because we have evolved as people.
Mm.
And so I think one of the best things for us was when we were both going through challenges, and they were almost like the thing that I was having a challenge with, she had in spades, and the thing that she was having in a challenge with, I had in spades. And so that's when the prayer call started. We're like, we're going to stand together in prayer, and every week we're coming together, and we're just going to walk through these challenges together, arm in arm. And so I think that going through that together brought us to a different level of closeness in our friendship. And I think that those things only happen with time. And so many times in relationships, people want things to happen right away, immediately, and I think that you really have to give yourself space. You have to give your friendship space to breathe and to evolve and to grow and to kind of figure out what that rhythm is, instead of kind of going into it with the desire of I think sometimes people look at friendships too one-sidedly, or relationships too one-sidedly. Like, you're going into it and you're like, this is what I want, so I'm going to find the person who can give me what I want. So if you want, like, to be on the scene, then you're only looking for people who you think are going to get you on the scene.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not really a genuine friendship necessarily. It's like it's kind of like you're I don't want to say taking advantage or like being opportunistic, but kind of like you're like, well, this person can give me this, so I'm going to be friends with them, as opposed to being like, this person makes my soul feel at ease, and I want to spend time with the person who makes my soul feel at ease, and I make their soul feel at ease. So I think sometimes people approach friendships from like a capitalist perspective, as I said.
Girl, this capitalist country is ruining minds.
So they're only looking at what they can get from it, and not necessarily what they can bring to it. And when you look at it,
Yeah, and I think, like, just to interject off what you were saying, like, I think that all comes back to who we are. Like, it's so important to find center and re-ask yourself what it is that you want out of things. Just because for me, like, authenticity is very important, and I want to make sure that anybody I'm friends with, that I'm friends with for a genuine reason. And so it's really important to, like, come back to center and come back and be like, okay, what is it that I want? Even if it's going well, if it's not going well, like, whatever, it's important to always ask yourself the question of, like, what does this person add to my life? And if I were to not be friends with this person, what in my life would change?
Right.
That's something I started doing. I'm like looking at just people in my life, and I'm like, okay, this person's not in my life. What has changed in my life since this person and me stopped being friends? And if I'm like absolutely nothing, then I'm thumbs up. But if I'm like, okay, well, this and this has changed, it's like, okay, well, now we've acknowledged what's changed and we can move on.
Right. Well, what about those friends that I think I deal more with people that, I don't know. I feel like I deal with a lot more inside haters than I do friends. Which is why I've had so little actual friends, because I have people that will do shady stuff to be seen by other people, and in the friend group. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, me knowing I would never treat you that way, and me knowing that these other people really don't care about you, I'm gonna let you go off and make your own mistakes. Because at the end of the day, every single time any one of these people need a real friend, they're gonna always call me without fail.
Right.
Yeah.
As soon as a real problem goes down, I'm the first one they want to call. I'm the first one they want to put give an assignment to help them. But then in the same breath that they want to call me and have me exhaust my energy for the things, because they know that I'm a ride or die.
Preach.
They'd turn around and be quick to, like, come at me or treat me differently. And it's like, Have y'all lost y'all's minds? I really want to know that. I really don't like, that's one thing I just really don't understand when it comes to like friendships, is that Taylor has never made me feel that way. I mean, when we were kids, yeah, we didn't like each other and that was mutual. But as adults, as our friendship has grown and cultivated over the years, she has never once, and I have never once made her feel any kind of way.
Right.
Taylor's like the one person that if she misses a birthday, I know it's not done and with malicious intent. Because she's where she's at in her life right now.
Yeah.
I have people that will miss a birthday to be malicious.
Yeah. Nar, like, I'm sorry, I can't do missed birthdays. Nar.
No, nope, I can't either.
Nar.
I have people, I can't either. Nar. I can't either, because I had one girl say, you know, that her first strike was one year. She was like, I can't come because my boyfriend's uncle, who she never met, was sick, who lived in Texas. We live in another state. We live states away.
We live 10 hours away from Texas.
10 hours away from Texas. And I'm looking at, like sick, like not like cancer, not dying, like he's sick.
He has influenza. We went to the moon in
1969.
In 1970, or the
but
year
a year after. Like, what, girl?
Yeah.
Like, you really just told me you can't come to my birthday because, and I felt, and I should have known then that was an excuse, and it was giving very hater-ish energy, because like that to me, people that can't come celebrate you on a day that is about to celebrate your life, it says one thing and one thing only to me. And I don't know if y'all see it this way, but it gives very much like, I can't stand to see someone else celebrate you and your peak in your happiness on one day for a few hours, because it does something internally to me.
Right.
And that's what when someone's like, they give an excuse as to not celebrate with you. Yeah. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Which is like, you're a hater. You're a fan. Why are you here? You're not actually a friend. Like Taylor has missed many birthdays due to where she's at in her life right now with trying to become a doctor.
Right.
And
but she would always call you. Like, it's a difference between like missing a birthday, like and still giving that love to you on your birthday. Like, it's okay if you can't be there, like, with me, but
you better believe she'll give me a call the day. She'll give me a call at night. She'll call me and be like, how's the dinner going? Like, Taylor's very much, she's very, very present as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I really, really love, because I'm like, she's a queen. But but I already know, because I already know in the grand scheme of things, when it's all said and done, after she's past school and stuff, I already know that birthdays going forward, if we're in the same vicinity, even if we weren't, she's going to be there if she can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, that's someone that I understand her. She will always get a pass as to why she can't come right now while she's in school. Because I'm not about to tell somebody literally studying for the hardest, like, she's going for dermatology. So she's going to one of the hardest.
Yes.
Like, that's crazy for me to be like, you weren't at my birthday. Nah, girl. Because when you become that dermatologist, as long as you take my insurance, sis, I'm going to be there.
That's funny.
You know what I mean? So I'm getting something out of this, because my friend's about to be a doctor. You know what I mean?
I'm getting something out of this. Wow.
I'm just kidding. No, but seriously. Well, I'm getting something out of it.
But it's mutual. But yeah.
Like, I was already her friend, but the fact that it's like a bonus that she's going to become a doctor, and a doctor that I could go to with my insurance.
Yeah.
So I just think that that's something that I struggle with friendships, is just people that, I don't know why I get tried a lot. A lot of people say stuff to me. They're like, why do people try you? Or why do people talk to you crazy? I'm like, I do not know. I genuinely don't know.
I don't know.
Because like, if they actually knew who I was, like, they're crazy, because I would put my hands on them. But you're laughing, but you know I'm being serious.
Yeah, well, I'm laughing because I know that you're being serious.
Yeah.
Like, do you know who you're talking to? Do you know me? You clearly don't know me. And that's why I have to be like, they don't know me. I'm just gonna walk away. They don't know me.
Yeah.
Because like, you talking to me like that really is just like, me and Corey used to go at it. The fist fightery in this house.
How many times do I have to say that you were fighting me and I was fucking trying to defend myself? Never did I ever fight you. First of all, I was handicapped for half of my life. I wouldn't try to fight you.
She's right. It's right. I would fight her. And I had to learn that as an adult to stop putting my hands on people. So it's like crazy to me when people are like, wow, like come in my face and say crazy stuff. Because I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus, please get me out of this situation.
Oh, sweetie. Oh, Neptune.
Help me, because if he doesn't, y'all gonna be coming down to the station and trying to get me out the precinct.
If he don't help me, he gonna have to help you.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something that you guys struggle with. I don't feel like I feel like neither of you. I mean, I feel like Corey has those people because of I think it's just his area.
I just think it's like weird people, because I also dealt with it when I was in college.
Yeah.
And something really like important that I learned is that like energy vampires and leeches are going to leech off of anybody, right? It doesn't matter who you are, but you just have to know yourself and know your boundaries enough to be like, no. It's like that scam that people run where they're like, oh, I need a babysitter, but my account's not working, so I'm gonna send you a check and then you send me half of it back, like that fraud scam that people run.
Mhm.
And I know people who have like fallen victim to that scam without knowing, and like because I learned from them, right now I'm a lot more cognizant of that people trying to run that scam. But if you don't know that someone's trying to run a scam on you, and like, that's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of who they are. They're looking for anybody to scam, and you just so happen to not know that they're scamming, and so you fall for it, right? Mm-hmm. But if you know, you can be like, all right, stop wasting my time, like moving on.
Someone tried to scam on me.
So I just think it's a thing. Yeah. Someone tried that scam on my ex, and she fell for it. And I think about it all the time. I just feel so bad for her.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm just so skeptical of everybody. I'm like, nah, you a scam artist. I'd make people like I'm just so skeptical of everyone that I'm like, I make people show me their, like, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm like, show me your ID.
Well, that is our episode about the evolution of friendship. I think this was such a good episode. I think we learned a lot. I feel like there's just so much more to be said. But these are only 50-minute episodes.
Yeah, we can do a part 2.
Yeah, for sure. We can definitely do a part 2. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram. Thank you, Anchor, for giving us this platform. I'm learning so much about you guys from this podcast. I want you to know.
Yeah, I'm Beth.
I'm Samelia.
I'm Corinne Grace. Thank you guys for joining us.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.